You know, any wish is possible.
I'm Rachel. I saw some videos that people talking about why they quit Disney and um, their how they didn't have a really good experience. I went on 3 college programs. Yes, there were days where they weren't the greatest, but overall, they were really good experiences. I mean, it's yes, it's Disney, and everybody knows that you can go out there and have a good time, but it's also a job. And a lot of people, I don't think, are realizing that. They're like, oh, I can go play at Disney World all the time? Yeah, you can on your days off, or when you get off of work, if you work an earlier shift, and you can go play at night, which is what I did all the time. Um, but yeah, you go out there and you have can make some great contacts and great friends that I've had. It's been 8 years since I went on my first college program. Um, when I went, it was 2006, first time away from mom and dad. I was 22 years old and had never flown by myself, so I flew on a red-eye flight. Extremely exhausted. Checked in, hadn't grabbed breakfast, and you have to go through these different stations as you're checking in. They give you your housing, and they're like, okay, you're gonna live at Chatham Square. So I go to my place that I'm gonna pick my room because I'm the first one in the apartment, and then the girls that they had signed me with just I just didn't feel very comfortable around. They were talking about how they want, go clubbing all the time and drinking and partying, and it's just that's not who I am, and that's not how I was raised. And so I went and and I talked to them, and they signed me. So they moved me to Vista Way. There's one individual that eventually got herself kicked out of our apartment, and at the end, which gave me my own room and my own bathroom the rest of the college program, which was nice. And but I had some really good roommates there. The job that I had, I worked at Lights, Motors, Action Extreme Stunt Show at the Disney. At that time, it was called the Disney MGM Studios, which today is called the Disney Hollywood Studios. I had never seen the show before when I went. It was brand new from when I went, because before that, I'd only been to Disney World one time. Well, I went and they gave us our costumes and I checked in. We had our first day of orientation of the job and the training. And I was a little eerie, just scared about the job in a little way, just because of my fear of heights and how high the bleachers go where everyone sits for the show. Having to tell everybody, please, slide all the way down, so everyone, can sit as well. And, at first I didn't know if I was going to be able to do the job because of my fear. And one of the guys that I worked with was just very sweet, and he kind of took me under his wing and said, as long as you're not looking down or feel like you're going to fall, just grab onto one of the rails. And that's what I ended up doing, and it just became a very easier job after that. And so, if I wasn't in the back, having everybody seated, I was in the front greeting the guests. Or one of the jobs that I became a expertise of is stroller parking. Yeah, people are like, what is stroller parking? Well, there's this area where people go to leave their strollers. When I had to work the job, I took it very serious, apparently, and had it all lined up. I can be a little OCD, some type of organization, and so they were all evenly straight and whatnot, and I even got an award. One of my coworkers gave me the art of stroller parking, and so that was just one of the little things that I did. I made so many great friends out there. I that I still talk to this day. My best friend Sam worked at the attraction next door at Backlot Tour. My friend Rebecca worked at the Great Movie Ride, and there's so many other people. I took 2 classes while I was out there. I didn't get college credit for them. I just took them on my behalf. One was Disney Practicum, where you learn the business side of Disney, and then the other one was entertainment, where they talk about the different shows and at one point we got to go behind the stage of Fantasmic and saw how they put on the show and everything, and then a couple weeks later as a class, we got to watch it together live. You have your mini adventures of everyone would shop at Walmart to get your groceries most of the time, because that was the closest thing. You get on the Walmart bus. They had busing for all the college program kids that didn't bring cars. So we'd go to Walmart and get our groceries. I remember one time, LaCara and I went, we're just walking around, and she goes, "Do you think I should get groceries or a PS2? And it was just a random question, and I'm like, "Do you have enough food?" She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "I don't know, get the PS2. So she got the PS2. Yeah, that was just so many random things that we got to do out there. Got to a private showing of Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one at where I worked at Lights Motors Action. The second college program I went back because my sister wanted to go on a college program, and I decided to go with her, and I waited too long to sign up, so I ended up settling with outdoor food and beverage. Not the greatest job, but I met some more cool people doing that. One of the girls I trained I became a trainer for, I would relieve people to go to their lunches, and then I got to train my friend Sarah, and then I met my friend Jessica, and there was just some cool people there to work. Out of all the parks, I both my college programs at World, I worked at the studios because I didn't want to work anywhere else. And then I got an email saying, "Hey, we're opening up housing for the first time at Disneyland, where I could go and do an alumni program over a summer." So I decided to sign up for that, and this time I was able to drive myself since I was within 5.5 hours. So I drove out there, and their housing was super nice. I it was 5 stories high, and of course I was assigned on the 5th level. They had an elevator that sometimes worked, sometimes didn't, so you were walking up and down stairs. I had to work in parking. At the time, it was a lot of fun, especially if I didn't have to worry about the parking side. I loved being on the back of the tram spieling to the guests, because I'm a people person. I love to be around people, and I would have fun with the job a lot of times, improvising, like I would say things. "Please remember to take your children with you. If your children not claimed within 24 hours, they'll be taken over to It's a Small World, glue their feet down, and taught how to sing It's a Small World in 27 different languages," which people loved. My supervisors I got along with, like Cassandra and Jason, they were really nice people, and I had a lot of fun with my good friends Michaela and Sarah. A lot of times I was over at Sarah's house watching TV, or we went to the Jimmy Kimmel show. It was me and Erica and Ciara, and I think my roommate Emily was there too, but I can't remember. It might have been a separate time, but it was pretty cool. We got to go to the Jimmy Kimmel show and watch Elizabeth Berkley and the late Dennis Hopper when he was still alive. That was pretty neat to see. And but it was a lot of fun. And yes, it is a job, but mostly a great company to work for. It's a company I want to make a career with. I'm gonna go back and get my BA in film, and then eventually apply for their Disney internships that they have out in Burbank. So I am just passionate about the company, and feel that if you really have the heart for the company, that is the great place for you to work. If you decide that you want to just go and want to play all the time, you might want to reconsider the job. Great opportunity to put on your resume after you complete it that you've worked for a Fortune 100 company. It opens a lot of doors, and I'm not the only one who could say that. There's some other people. My best friend Sam, she works Channel 5 News in Nashville. That's helped her in a way, and so many other people that I've met and worked with over the years that also worked for the company, and we still to this day are a close-knit family because we all had that magical experience that we had.